Can we talk about Kyrie Irving a little bit? Is that okay?
Love
Is
to.
that on the list?
Kyrie, shut up and dribble, they say.
Well, I don't know if you want to bring it up, Tim, but...
Well, what about Kyrie Irving?
Some say that
Well, he
LeBron,
just came out and made a statement saying that he's not against the vaccine, he's against the mandates, and that he also wants to be a voice for the voiceless, and that he's making that's what he said exactly. But what he's doing is he's making a stand on this issue. There's also a 26-year-old Atlanta Hawks basketball player named Brandon Goodwin, who's reporting that according to his own personal experiences, it was the vaccine that ruined his NBA career, and he's saying that he got blood clots, fatigue, respiratory conditions. He got sick after the vaccine, and he's blaming it on ending it his basketball career, his professional sports career.
Well, look, Luke.
We don't know if that's true, but that's what he said.
This guy claiming he had this experience. Clearly, it's a dangerous conspiracy theory. You know, he's just his theory about these things happening to himself certainly are not correct. No, look,
sarcasm.
anecdotal at best.
So apparently we have this story. I just Googled it. I don't know what this source is. It just says former Atlanta Hawks guard Brandon Goodwin claims COVID-19 vaccine ended his season. Goodwin left nothing up to the imagination to his Twitch audience recently. This is from just about a week and a half ago. The only thing I can really say is, VAERS exists for a reason. The Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System exists for a reason. And I want to stress this point. Maybe he's telling the truth. But if you're vaccinating 330 million people and there's adverse events that being possible, then you're going to get these stories. We got to be careful not to take volume and compare it with proportionality. But I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to be. I can only say this. I agree. The vaccine mandates are wrong. And if you're getting stories like this and people are freaking out, people got to be told to go to people they know and trust and be able to make decisions for themselves. And if people want to assume risks in their life, that's their choice. For me, I don't smoke. I hate smoke. I can't stand people smoking around me. If I go to a bar and people are smoking, I'll go outside. I'll go somewhere else. I'm not going to be like, everyone here should stop smoking because no.
Well, there's definitely an interesting debate happening right now because you have a lot of sports commentators attacking Kyrie, saying that he's, an idiot, a loser, that he's stupid for doing this. But there's also, the tale of Magic Johnson, who had HIV, and there was a big discussion about even allowing him to play in the NBA. And there was people saying he shouldn't play. He's at risk to other players. We should ban him. He shouldn't have the right to play in the NBA. Now I feel like people are making that argument, especially with this claim with with Kyrie Irving, who's being denied the access to even play sports because of something that some medical professionals estimate that there is low risk when it comes to professional athletes from even getting and there's also the debate of if all the other players are vaccinated, well then wouldn't it work? Why do we need to have him do it as well? So that's the conversation that's happening online right now, and I think it's a very interesting one because it's going back and forth. Traitor, stupid guy, and people are saying he's doing the right thing, making a stand here for people who don't have a voice. So
I think it's a good decision. I support his decision to make his own personal decision, right? And people are talking about the money that he's giving up, but it's useful to consider the money that he's already made, right? He's in a position of comfort because of the work and energy and effort that he's put in, and I don't begrudge him that whatsoever. But he does have the luxury of having this type of conscience that most Americans do not have. And so that is the kind of person who could actually take a risk and make a statement and actually make something positive happen. Whereas, just a regular guy with a regular job and regular family, if he doesn't do it and he gets fired, that's not going to have political change. Kyrie Irving, he's in position to do that.
So I pulled up Brandon Goodwin, Wikipedia. It says Goodwin missed the 2021 NBA playoffs due to a respiratory condition.
Oh.
Yeah. So, there are other NBA players speaking out against this. Whether you like them or dislike them, I know some people have different mixed feelings about Kyrie Irving. At least there's a conversation. At least there's a discussion here that wouldn't have happened. I think people are trying to dismiss this conversation, but I think being open to this conversation, to people's concerns, is something that will help everyone out in the long run. And I think that's why it's so imperative to talk through these issues.
The irony here, Shannon Sharp, I think, was talking very very loudly about how Kyrie Irving should just basically shut up and play. But at the same time, back in May of last year, when people were protesting because of George Floyd, you had people also saying, shut up and play. And so there were people criticizing those who said that then, who are now saying, shut up and play. Now, it's very interesting how this issue is actually crossing party lines.
It is a bit different. I mean, the issue here is like Kyrie Irving can't play. There is no shut up and play. It's him literally being like, hey, guys, I can't play because of this.
Well, sure. But
LeBron,
the
I think
shut up part is take the shot.
It was right. But there's a difference. LeBron could have just played the game, but he wanted to be political.
Yeah.
So I think it was Laura Ingraham who said, shut up and dribble. Is that she was the one who said it?
Well, it was Shannon Sharp. I was talking
okay.
about making this comparison and telling Kyrie Irving to just get the shot and go play. People are depending on you. Your teammates are depending on you.
Kyrie's
playing.
He's not a mule. Kai, you can do whatever you want. You're the reason the Cavs won the first championship. Just kidding. That was a team game. You got a sick layup, bro. And if you're going to have some time off, so first the team said he can't play home games if he doesn't get vaccinated, and now they say
he can't participate.
Now
in
he's not going to be able to play at all
Yes.
with the team.
Yeah.
So if you got time on your hands, bro, come on here.
And you know what's funny is like when the LA County came out with their vax mandate, I didn't look into the details, but one could assume that performers were excluded, right? So I was thinking like you couldn't go to a Lakers game if you didn't have a vaccine, but are they going to require all of the incoming players to get the vaccine? Of course not, because performers, politicians, etc., they all have exemptions from these vax mandates.
Not in New York City, not with Kyrie Irving. And it's really interesting to see
Wait,
how
in New York City, even the performers are required to be vaccinated?
No, but players are.
The players are, yeah.
Even
It's
though
weird.
they're kind of performing, it's a type of performance.
Yeah, it's very weird that this is happening. A lot of people are saying that Kyrie should be traded to a team in Florida. So there's a lot of discussions about that. But there's also a lot of people just kind of taking cheap shots at him. And even though I don't kind of agree with his other previous political positions, it's okay. And I think his stand here is definitely worth noting, because a lot of people in the mainstream media, a lot of people try to dismiss it, try to act like there's this point of view that doesn't exist. It clearly does. It's here. And I think ignoring it only makes it grow. But by addressing it, you could actually do the right thing here and actually be able to talk things out in a way where it leads to less harm, more understanding, and it fixes a lot of the problems that we have in our current society.
Yeah,
so,
I believe there are other NBA players who have come out and said that they're not vaccinated because they have the antibodies. Bradley Beal, I think, in Washington
That sounds right.
was one of them as well. More people need to speak up, man. The antibodies from having the infection are something that we really need to address.
I disagree. We talked about this quite a bit.
Oh,
It changes the argument from no mandates to mandates with exceptions.
I see.
So when Rand Paul comes out and he's like, natural antibodies are being, lied about and Fauci lied, I'm like, why are you even discussing it? Who cares? You shouldn't be demanding people's papers.
Indeed. I agree with that 100%. But is it better to just deal with the vax mandate in 100% capacity, or have your binary position, or at least also try to chip away at the
binary?
Yeah, do both.
If we're standing on the line,
Shocked.
if we're standing
Yeah,
on the
do both.
line, and the line is, do you accept the mandates or not? I say no, and you
Yeah.
won't get me to cross that line. And apparently, a lot of Southwest pilots feel the same way.
But it's also it's worth mentioning that a vaccine against this is different than testing to not have it in your system, because there have been evidence that people that get the vaccine can still get COVID.
Evidence. There's new
And
study
pass it
that
on.
just came out, Harvard study that showed that the vaccine correlated with increased rates of transmission.
Where
I
is it?
treat it
Harvard?
all as evidence.
Harvard.
I'm not considering any of this stuff proof. I get this
Yeah.
news and data and this and that. It's evidence to me, but there is evidence.
Yeah.
I tweeted it today. I find it.
Yeah. There's a lot of
Keep
medical
going,
studies.
Luke.
And it's also important to note here, just like, some doctors that we talked about earlier were censored on Instagram, it's also important to note that there are medical professionals, there are doctors, there are studies that if you do talk about on social media, that they do take away your channel, they do take down videos. A lot of doctors, a lot of prominent medical professionals have had their accounts terminated. So there is this aspect of this as well. But there's, actual science, which should be debated, which should be questioned, that's being denied to a lot of people. And, a lot of people say the science is settled. Well, the science seems to be changing a lot. I tweeted a video today on my Twitter account on @LukeWeAreChange, and it's a music video, and it's Dr. Fauci saying 100% safe and effective, 100% safe and effective, and then you have all the media reports, 100% regurgitating the same thing, and then it goes to 99, 98, 97, 96, literally all the way down to some media publications reporting 33% effective. So there's different media reports. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of distractions out there. But, we have to understand here we're in a very fast-moving situation that we still don't know the full long-term ramifications of.
I gotta disagree. It looks like an op-ed based on data, not a Harvard study that made a conclusion.
Okay.
But I don't know for sure.
I found that with a lot of these studies.
There is Harvard data, but I don't see a study other than just data charts, breaking down.
From my experience, there are some studies that are risky to bring up, but if you bring them up and have...
It's in the paper. The link. There's a link is in the first sentence.
If you have legit debate, like we can do on the show, if it's you in a room, it's hard to break through the echo, and then you might frame it in a way that's dangerous. But if you are able to have a cogent debate...
Yeah.
I'm going to read this headline. It says, increases in COVID-19 are unrelated to levels of vaccination across 68 countries and 2,947 counties in the United States.
I think if you dig in there, according to the article that I linked to you, man, I'm on the spot. I'm having to re-examine
It's also important to note that we are not medical professionals. We are not medical doctors.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if there's a Harvard study saying that there's a correlation, I think it's the opposite actually, Jack. This study that was linked to, it says increase in COVID are unrelated to levels of vaccination. Now that specifically literally means vaccines aren't causing or in any way related to an increase, but it does show that the increase is unrelated to vaccination, which is strange because there should be a decrease.
Yeah.
I could see
there's also some interesting preliminary data when you look at cases in Singapore, Iceland, Israel, and the United Kingdom, some of the places that had the highest vaccination rates. And when you look at their case numbers, there's a correlation there that is not an easy one to talk about, and we have to tread lightly here because again, correlation does not prove causation, but there is something going on here that I think we don't fully understand yet.
So the quote from the research says, in fact, the trend line suggests a marginally positive association such that countries with higher percentage of population fully vaccinated have higher COVID-19 cases per 1 million people.
So one thing that makes me think is that not that the vaccine is causing the body to make it happen more, but that people are more confident because they've been vaccinated, so they're going to public places.
Not only
There's many factors here.
The symptoms are reduced. The symptoms are your first sign that you're sick and should self-quarantine. If you don't have symptoms, then you can go out.
Well, it depends because there's also some places reporting that most of the people hospitalized are the people who did go through the procedure. So there are some preliminary reports. You guys got to do your own research. You got to talk to your medical professionals. You got to make up your own mind. We're not telling you guys what to do here. We're not the medical professionals. We're not the medical doctors. But there is a lot of outlining data out there that we have to kind of talk about in a roundabout way because it's a landmine sometimes. And it's important not to jump to conclusions. It's important not to just, go with one thing and say this is 100% the truth because honestly, I don't think a lot of people know exactly what's happening here. And to say you're definitively understanding this, I think is disingenuous the least.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.